Stop trying to fit in and make it right for everyone. Basically, not being your true self. Because the problems you're having is that there's nobody that really likes you, like truly is a brother to you or a girl that loves you. It's like you're not really there, not existing when you're in a group meeting or just hanging with your boys. And of course, you're having the friend zone problem when you're talking to girls. And as well, like more passively, you don't really have success in business entrepreneurship, right? Big fact, you're not supposed to be liked by everyone, and you're not supposed to like everyone, right? We're in the self-improvement niche, we're in the business niche, we take life seriously, we don't do bad habits, right? So if you like hang around this fucking lazy ass bum, right, that just fucking drinks alcohol and doesn't do shit with his life, and he asks you like, or tells you like, I love drinking, what about you? And you try to fit in the group of lazy bums. You always say, yeah, I drink sometimes as well. That doesn't really make sense, right? Instead of just being honest and having the confrontation, you avoid the confrontation and you say, yeah, I like it too. So you fit in. But the problem is people feel that dishonesty, and you as well. You feel losing yourself because you just don't respect yourself, bro. You prioritize the opinions of others than yours. And that doesn't make sense, especially if you want to be a masculine man and, stand tall and proud. If you're not able to tell your honest opinions and be honest and direct, how do you think that's gonna work in the future, right? You're just gonna lose yourself. You're always gonna be amalgamation of people. You're gonna be a people pleaser, and that's what people don't like. You're gonna be the nice guy of the girls, with the fucking e-girls. You don't really like e-girls, but you want the stinky hole, so you agree with everything she says. You're gonna land in the friend zone, right? People are not attracted. Girls are not attracted to people pleasers that just say fucking yes to everything. And guys aren't either. Like, of course, you have the fucking narcissistic guys and girls that love it because they want to be the number one in the world. But in the end of the day, don't try to fit in. Don't try to be liked by everyone. Because there's a quote from Mike Tyson, right? I think it's from Mike Tyson, basically this guy, if you don't know him, that stop trying to make everyone like you because then you lose yourself. And that what basically means is that there's nobody that's gonna really love you, and there's nobody that's gonna really hate you. And you might think, yeah, that's a positive. I don't want to be hated, but you need to polarize. You need to polarize nowadays. If you want to be a person that's remembered, that's in a group setting, and they think, yeah, that guy's important, that guy's special. You want to be that guy. Then you need to be honest and direct. You can't just be somebody who just says, yeah, I agree. You need to stand tall and say, look, I don't think that's going to work like this way. My opinion is, or I think that in this direction, this way, how we do this, that's how you need to be. You need to be direct and just be confrontational, right? You need to kind of like fight your opinion through, right? Of course, you don't need to be an asshole and, this fucking ego says to you, look, I love doing drugs and whatever. You don't need to fucking bully her and say, yeah, you're a fucking degenerate pussy bitch. You don't need to do that, right? You can just say, look, that's not for me. I don't really do that shit, right? It's not for me. And she's gonna be fucking attracted to you because you're honest. Or maybe she isn't, but you don't want to be fucking with a girl like this anyway, right? Or you don't want to be friends with a lazy bum anyway. So why do you lie? Why do you lose yourself? Why aren't you honest? Like, be brutally honest and say your opinion. Don't lose yourself, right? Especially in business, right? If you have something like, video editing or copywriting and you have a specific price, right? Let's say you work for, I don't know, random as a number, $60 an hour, right? Or you make a website for $150. And you really need that customer. You really need that customer. He tells you, I can't pay 150. I can only pay 50. And you're a pussy bitch, so you do it for 50 francs. Or $50, sorry. You do it for 50, even though your price is 150, right? You may think, yeah, I got a sale, I got a customer, and of course you kind of need leverage, but at the end of the day, you're gonna know it's like lay in bed, like, yeah, I just fucking sold my time, my precious time, even though it's worth for me $150, I sold it for 50 because I'm a pussy bitch and needy, right? I need to be direct with you, right? Not just like in general, like relationship and personal life, of course, also in business. You need to be direct, you need to be honest, because if you want to be the guy on the left, stop people pleasing, then you need to be direct. You need to stand proud. You don't want to be this fucking goofy ass who just agrees with everything and, the girls trample over him, right? Don't get trampled on, because if you're just a yes man and you agree with everything, the girls you know, they fucking, you know, they ask like, yeah, what's your hobbies, or you ask them what's their hobbies, and they say, yeah, I fucking, you know, I scroll on Instagram, I love social media, and then, you know, you also say, yeah, I love social media too, I love scrolling, and I love this channel. Do you know this channel? She's gonna think like, what the fuck are you? And instead of just being this pussy bitch, you could just say like, I don't really agree with that. I rather, you know, focus on business, whatever. And then either she's gonna like it or she's not gonna like it. You want that. You want the polarization of knowing if somebody truly likes you, maybe even loves you, or fucking hates you. You don't want to be in the middle ground, right? The middle ground of you don't know where you are. Either they fucking hate you or they love you, right? You don't want to be in the middle ground, because then you get trampled on, you get ignored, you're just a nobody, and you're gonna get friend zoned, right? You know, that's interesting. A little like fucking hidden fact, or like deep knowledge. Girls can be attracted to men who they basically hate, right? They can be sexually attracted. Of course, that doesn't mean that they will fuck them or they get in a relationship with them. But they find the men more interesting that they hate than they don't, right? They prefer this guy that, you know, sparks the emotion of hate more over than the fucking guy that doesn't do anything. Of course, best case, love, right? Best case, they love you and they like you. Worst case, you're in the middle ground. You need to think that way, right? Especially back in the group setting, you know, you're doing a business task, or in school, you're doing homework together, and you don't want to get trampled on. You don't want to be ignored. So say your opinions. Say your opinions directly. If somebody says like, let's do the task one like this, and you say, nah, I don't really see it that way. I think the way that we should prefer or makes more sense is this way, then say that, right? And then maybe this guy loves you, thinks, yeah, fuck yeah, he's a giga chad, and he tells his direct opinion and agrees with you. This guy thinks like, what the fuck? Why is he so fucking egotistical, and why does he say his opinion? This guy loves him again. You know, it's, you rather know the true opinions of people rather than being in the fucking middle zone and not knowing anything, right? Not knowing where you stand, or just being ignored. But back to the point, or to summarize, be honest to yourself. Do not lose yourself, right? Like the fucking Eminem song. Stay the man that you are. Be the man that you are. If you need to say something directly, say it, right? If you're asked about your opinions, don't try to amalgamate an answer and try to say the right thing. Say what your heart says, what you're thinking, because then you will attract people. Be friends, be business partners, be girls. And then you also know people who don't really are compatible with you, right? Who aren't even really compatible with you because they don't see your opinions or they don't agree with you. If you're in the fucking middle zone, that's not gonna work, because you want the polarization. Again, that people who love you or people that hate you. Never be in the middle ground, right? You wanna go either on this side or on this side. Try to get on one side. Of course, again, don't be an asshole, don't insult people, because that's just fucking, you don't do that. But if somebody asks your opinion or you just want to say something, be honest, don't lose yourself. That's the video. I'll see you in the next one. Check the Mindset Bootcamp link. Check the Mindset Bootcamp. There you go. Link in the description. I'll see you in the next.